In Batman's early years, someone pretended to be him and killed criminals in Gotham, leaving him to take the blame for a killing spree. On an ungrateful night, Bruce Wayne's surrogate parent, Leslie Tompkins, finds Batman unconscious with injuries in her house. As she uncovers his mask, she surprisingly realizes that Batman is actually Bruce Wayne. The EMTs and the police will arrive in a few minutes, and Batman will be in Arkham the moment they stop the bleeding. However, Leslie can't bring herself to make the call, even though Arkham might be the best place for him. She can't imagine how much pain brought him back to her place. When his parents were murdered, he was sent to her, and she gave him a laundry list of diagnoses when she identified his problems. For all of his behaviors, it was his rage that frightened her the most. The rage that drove him away and disappeared for 6 years. Back then, she told him to learn how to control his rage. Otherwise, it would get him killed. And it scares her how right she was. Since Leslie is also a renowned medical professional, she nurses him back to health. Later, Bruce regains consciousness and asks Leslie to return his bat costume. Leslie refuses and demands him to tell her what happened to him tonight. She clarifies that if he can't give her a good reason why he doesn't need psychiatric help, she is going to tell the world that he is Batman. With no choice, he reveals he confronted a robber that robbed a bartender. However, the robber shot the bartender dead and took a kid as a hostage. He demanded Batman to get down and put hands on his head or he will kill the kid, but Batman didn't listen. Instead, he threw his batarang at the robber but missed. This gave the robber an opportunity to fire back at him and hit his right arm. There were 3 robbers, but one didn't make it. Seeing the remaining robbers escaping, Batman followed them and threw a smoke grenade into their car, causing them to crash. He dragged them out of the car and broke some of their bones but spared their lives. Then, the robber stabbed him while he turned his back, so he finished them off. While on his way back, he couldn't stop bleeding and lost consciousness after arriving at Leslie's house. Leslie wonders how this happened to him, and he responds nothing happened to him. This wasn't some unfortunate side effect of him, but it was a vow. As Leslie has no idea what he is talking about, he explains that he went to the ends of the earth to learn to control the monster. Not to purge the fear or the pain, but to become it. As a psychotherapist, Leslie tells him that he sounds insane. She suggests he find psychological help and reminds him that he is putting himself and hundreds of other people at risk. He responds to her that she has helped him enough. Seeing that Bruce loves to fight crime in Gotham, Leslie encourages him to run for president. Afterward, he attempts to leave, but Leslie threatens to call the police if he walks out the door, and he will be shot or locked up in Arkham in 6 hours. She wants him to explain why he is doing this. He says it's because he wants to make a difference. Last week, Gotham had its first night with 0 crimes in 54 years. That didn't happen because of the cops or the mayor, and that is because of him. Leslie believes that may be, but she reminds him that doing this also puts himself at danger. She allows him to threaten her all he wants and asks him to sign a paper that says he will become her patient again, and she can legally protect their conversations. If he signs, Leslie can't break confidentiality unless she thinks there is an imminent threat to his life or someone else's. Every morning at dawn, she wants him to come to the office and talk about what he is doing, and if he doesn't show up, she will call the police. Bruce agrees with that and signs the paper. At Wesker Company, Detective Wong comes to investigate Batman's problem on Mr. Wesker's request. Stitch, Mr. Wesker's man, then brings Wong to the roof to see him. On the way, Stitch tells Wong that this problem happened here before, the same thing as 2 months ago. They suspect that Batman was hiding among them as one of the construction crews. They had a construction crew working here, and Stitch thinks Batman copied one of their access keys to enter the building. The reason they assume it was Batman is that they found 3 zip lines, one attached to another building and the other 2 attached to the roof. Stitch shows Wong security footage of a man they believe was Batman. The man is not a construction worker on their payroll. Others assumed he was a new hire. He worked alongside them for 3 days, hiding in plain sight. As it looks like Stitch has cameras around the city, Wong suggests giving GCPD, Gotham City Police Department, access to some of those feeds if he wants to catch the man. Stitch responds he will ask Mr. Wesker about that. Afterward, Mr. Wesker welcomes Wong into his office. He wants to know what Wong is doing about the Batman problem. She appreciates Mr. Wesker being a concerned citizen, but she clarifies she is not at liberty to discuss an open investigation. Mr. Wesker's company annually pumps $23 billion into Gotham's economy, which happens to be more than half the city's annual budget. When their last mayor, who is dead, was found to have misappropriated considerable public service funds, It was Wesker Capital that loaned the city money to keep the lights and water on for 12 million people. Mr. Wesker is glad that Wong appreciates his concern and tells her he is not a concerned citizen, but he is Gotham. Wong reveals everyone in the department is concerned about his reputation, as some individuals doubt his standing as a respected figure in the community. They appreciate what he has done for Gotham, and Wong is sure that he was about to remind her of the substantial contributions to the GCPD pension fund and the renovations to precincts 32, 103, and headquarters. Despite this, Wong apologizes to Mr. Wesker and says he is not Gotham City. She clarifies he is a private citizen, and to ensure that the eventual charges brought against Batman, she tells him she will not discuss the case with him. Batman's antics in the harbor last Christmas put a serious dent in Mr. Wesker's supply chain. $1 million have been wasted. Last month, he had to close 3 factories of the helicopter business. He tells Wong that Batman's presence is bad for business. If this problem continues, he is sure that the Sionis family is considering moving their firm out of Gotham entirely. Regarding Wayne Enterprises, they faced a problem when Batman caused the explosion of one of their buildings the previous year. Mr. Wesker is not happy when the public has attention on Batman's effort against criminals and makes the police look like fools. He asks Wong how long she thinks the police department can go on before the people with power decide to do something about it. Before she leaves, Mr. Wesker tells her they all are rooting for her since there was a rumor going around that she is really good at being a detective. Upon arriving at the police department, Wong is urgently called to see the captain to discuss today's case. There are 5 new detectives invited from different departments that have experience related to homicide cases to join the case. Wong knows 4 of them, such as Garcia, Choi, Hatcher, and Shiv, but she has no clue who is the one in the middle. As everyone is gathered, the captain informs them that Batman has finally killed someone. He shows them the security footage of Batman bringing the criminals to the rooftop of 75th Street, blindfolded and tied. Batman kept them on their knees for about 2 minutes and then kicked them off the roof. This footage is provided by Wesker Capital. The question that Wesker asked Wong drills into her mind. Regarding the victims, Hatcher believes they must be somebody's perpetrators if Batman is kicking them off rooftops like that. Those 3 victims are known as Sloss, Kotsiszewski, and Caldwell. 6 months ago, they were residents of Blackgate Prison on murder charges, but they were released because of a genius district attorney who tried to fight corruption in the court. However, some people think his approach is not a good idea and got those involved released because of his actions. Since then, the perpetrators have been on the streets doing whatever they want. Hatcher thinks Batman has had enough of those criminals, which led him to do that, and suggests the captain get him a pension. The captain expresses seriousness and tells Hatcher not to ever think of that. James Gordon, who was the former captain of GCPD and one of Batman's most trusted allies, had his escapade with Batman extremely damaging the police department. Batman drowned their credibility in the toilet and didn't bother to flush on his way out. Because of him, a lot of cops lost everything. The captain doesn't care if the victims Batman killed were killer clowns murdering 6-year-old girls, as this is not justice. He tells everyone that Batman is not their helper to be called upon with a giant flashlight in the sky. He considers Batman a criminal and now a murderer. It's up to the people in this meeting to hunt him down and drag him to a justice that has been sorely lacking in Gotham City. Afterward, Wong thinks about what she knows about Batman. 3 years ago, she spent 6 months answering calls about a giant vampire flying around breaking people's knees. She didn't believe it at first and thought maybe someone has added something to their drinking water and causes people to report such odd things. The criminals who meet Batman say he is invincible. Shoot him, and he gets back up like the devil, they said. He disappears into thin air and reappears on the other side of the city impossibly fast. 2 years of investigating Batman, Wong finds out he is heavily armored. She believes his outfit must weigh 100 pounds. Constant municipal complaints of a shifting network of zip lines popping up across the city. Wong hasn't been able to prove it, but she is sure 99% it was Batman. Last year, she came across records of impounded motorcycles. She has tracked down 12 of Batman's motorcycles so far. Each bike is identical, and they were hidden all across the city. 12 motorcycles aren't cheap. Neither are the steel zip lines. And Wong assumes Batman isn't some homeless, and he may be military. The next day, Batman arrives late to see Leslie, which almost causes her to call the police. She confronts him about his killing and wonders what happened. Since Leslie isn't comfortable talking to him while he is wearing the mask, she asks him to take it off. Bruce reveals there is someone pretending to be Batman. He acknowledges it's a brilliant setup to leave him the blame for a killing spree. Even if he finds the imposter and stops him, it's impossible to prove who did what. About the leads, he has been asking around for information. And from what he receives, the Lohman family has been slithering its way back into business after they were all let out of Blackgate Prison last year. Eddie, who was one of many security guards present at Arkham Asylum, took Batman a while to find him. but he is convinced the imposter isn't Eddie's idea. While gathering information, Batman visited street gangs called the Skeletons and gave them a beating. He found that Cobblepot is also innocent. Everyone who he suspects, none of them is an imposter. Regarding Bruce's tone, Leslie thinks he sounds happy talking about this. He tells her it's because fear is the most vicious weapon. Since Bruce has made the police's job easier, they have tolerated him. Leslie reminds him that if he makes them believe he is crossing the line, that justification will go out the window. He can't expect to receive the same leniency from the police department if he is feared as a murderer, and Leslie tells him to understand that. However, Bruce isn't thinking of letting the imposter get away. Leslie also advises him to do it quickly as his time is running out. A rat catcher, Otis, is scolded by his customer for not killing the rats and instead luring them away somewhere else. Otis tells his customer he is trying to be humane. However, he has no choice but to kill them since his customer threatens to make him eat it if he doesn't. Otis doesn't understand why people hate rats for no reason. If dogs are small, move quickly, and have long faces like rats, people would still love them even though they are more likely to hurt them. Everybody thinks they are better than rats, but Otis doesn't see it. He wouldn't despise people as rats too, as it's an insult to the rats. People are violent, angry, scared, and most of all, they are selfish. During that day, Otis gets robbed by the street gang Skeletons. He tried to leave Gotham once and went to Keystone City where it has cleaner streets and faster internet. But there, someone beat him and stole his shoes. He doesn't understand why everything is so horrible. It seems like everybody is mean and hates him. He tries to be friendly, change his hair, and smile more, but those don't matter. It has always been like this for him. The only kindness he ever felt came from Batman, who is the imposter. The imposter once saved Otis's life from the Sionis family, who attempted to throw him off the Winslow Bridge when he went to clear the rats out and go to the 13th floor, which they have already warned him not to. Otis knows everything about this imposter, like his bike and the sewers he usually takes. He assures him he will not tell anyone about their secret. He knows a secret tunnel that is forgotten and offers to show the imposter. Wong has now found records of potentially 20 motorcycles that have been found and impounded. No one has reported anything stolen, which means they have been bought. All of them are worth $1.3 million that were left on the street. From what Bruce knows, the victims are all convicted criminals. All of them know how to handle themselves, but the imposter managed to get them onto the roof unnoticed. He was also clever enough to stay out of sight until he wanted to be seen. That tells Bruce the imposter is tactical and believes he could be military. While Bruce is finding the clues to who the imposter is, Wong shows up at his doorstep to talk about Batman. During midnight, Leslie couldn't bring herself to sleep. She is worrying about Bruce and afraid that she might fail him again. Suddenly, Batman shows up with injuries. Leslie tells him not to push himself so much as the deal is that he would be here at dawn. After, she patches him up. She wonders what happened to him tonight. He says he has to be everywhere at once to catch the imposter. Gotham has eyes everywhere. There are informants, snitches, the rumor mill, and a surveillance network that covers 80% of Gotham's streets, which is Wesker Capital's surveillance network. Last week of recon, Batman learns that there is a server farm on the 45th floor of the Wesker Capital building downtown, the room that is connected to all security cameras. And to get to the 45th floor from the ground involves passing 2 security stations, one on the first floor, another on the 30th. The easiest way in would have been from the roof, so Batman used a zipline gun to get to the roof and passed security on the first floor. Arriving at the 30th floor, he knocked the securities out as well as the one inside the security cameras room, but the problem was that he didn't hit hard enough and a security hit the alarm button. After, Stitch showed up to confront him. They got into a fight for a while, and Batman managed to escape. Then, he encountered Wesker's son, Arnold. Arnold had been waiting for Batman all day. He seemed to be abused by Wesker, and he asked Batman to kill his father. However, Batman didn't answer and left. Batman successfully hacked Wesker's network, and he has got eyes everywhere now. Leslie tells Bruce that she wants to talk more about Arnold. She wonders if Bruce doesn't think it's strange that Arnold asked him to kill his father. Bruce says it's normal because a lot of people hate their fathers, but talking about that also reminds him of his father, Thomas Wayne. Leslie then asks Bruce about what was happening between him and Wong yesterday. When Wong came to meet Bruce to talk about Batman, Bruce told her his lawyer handled this kind of thing that involved the laws for him. After, he offered her some tea and welcomed her into the house. She loved what he had done with the place. Bruce didn't have any butler either, despite having a house this big. He asked what she comes here for, and she replied she was working on the Batman killing and had turned up some interesting things. She can't discuss too much about the case, but she had got some evidence that Batman has hidden a network of motorcycles around the city for some of his escapes. The vehicle identification numbers on the bikes were missing, but Wong recently discovered a partial serial number off of one of the tires, and they were manufactured by Wayne Enterprises. Wong wanted to know if Bruce sold Batman some tires, and he replied, "That is not something he would do." Wong mentioned about $1.3 million worth of bikes that they discovered around Gotham City. She didn't believe with what Bruce said since that is a lot of hardware to steal unnoticed. She thinks Batman has a wealthy benefactor and accused Bruce of being the one who provided it to Batman. To prevent any suspicion, she asked to examine books associated with Bruce and his organization. Bruce told her he isn't particularly involved in what happens at Wayne Enterprises. If she happens to catch Wayne Enterprises in tax evasion, he reminds her he has been minding his business at his house. He told her he will tell the accountants at Wayne Enterprises that she is coming, and clarified his company doesn't have anything to hide. Seeing the bruises on Bruce's face, Wong wondered, how did he get them? He said he got it from self-defense classes in a gym downtown because a break-in from a few months ago terrified him. He also welcomed her to come to his next session if she wants. She said she will consider it and she left. However, Bruce called her afterward. Since he said there was no traceable connection between Batman and Wayne Enterprises, Leslie is sure that Wong would have crossed him off her suspect list and left him alone forever. But she, curious, why did he call her? From Leslie's point of view, it seems that Bruce is begging to be caught. Bruce tells her that is the only way to find the imposter. Right now, there is no discernible pattern to the imposter's victims other than the fact that they have hefty criminal records like murderers, dealers, and traffickers. Currently, the imposter has killed 10 people so far in Batman's name. Bruce knows there is a pattern, but he just can't see it yet. So he needs to access GCPD's case files to see what he is missing. However, Wong is in his way. Since she is the best detective on the entire force, Leslie asks Bruce, doesn't he think he is being careless? Bruce tells her that Wong's parents were murdered in front of her just like him, an event that undoubtedly caused her to follow her father's footsteps and become a cop. This is her weak point in her emotional defenses that he is particularly well positioned to exploit, and controlling her can get him inside GCPD. It tells him what they know about the imposter and also Batman. He needs to do this if he is going to stop the imposter without getting caught. Leslie doesn't like Bruce's idea of manipulating Wong into trusting him and using her like that, but somehow, she wants to know how that is going so far. A few days ago, Bruce invited Wong to a restaurant and told her he found out that he had a missing shipping container that was never accounted for 18 months ago when he asked his people to look for discrepancies in any of their import logs. It apparently had 25 motorcycles in it. Wong wondered why the police weren't contacted, and Bruce said it was one missing shipping container out of 22,000, so it was like no value. Bruce told Wong the reason he chose to tell her in person was that she piqued his interest. He revealed after she left his house, he searched her up and was surprised to see they have so much in common. She wondered if he is referring to the fact that their parents were murdered in front of them, and he replied he didn't. He was actually referring to the fact that they both dropped out of university, and he also saw that she spent some time in Brazil. He had spent a few years there as well. Wong apologized and felt so embarrassed about her question earlier. Bruce told her she can make things better by letting him buy her breakfast. After, he asked what made her want to be a cop. She told him it's exactly what he thinks it is. Her father was a cop, and it's just what she needed to do. Bruce expressed sympathy for her parents. A bit later, her partner came to pick her up. Before she left, Bruce told her he wanted her to talk about Brazil and invited her to dinner. She initially hesitated, but as he convinced her, she agreed. And later on, they both fell in love. On that night, as they had already made love, Wong wondered what happened to Bruce's hip. He lied it was from a car accident, but actually, he was cut by a robber. About a scar on Wong's shoulder, she told him it was from a man who also killed her parents. However, the killer had already died in Blackgate. Wong spent years wishing he would die, dreaming that she would be the one to do it. But when it happened, she didn't feel anything. While she was sleeping, Bruce downloaded case files on Batman killing from her laptop, then suited up and went on a mission. The case files revealed a number of patterns. 2 of the imposter's victims were cellmates. 8 out of the 11 overlapped their sentences at Blackgate. The victims were all killed in a 3-mile radius, which is enormous in terms of Gotham's density, unless the imposter has access to a surveillance network. Bruce also found there was one staggering pattern. 9 out of the 11 victims were sentenced by the same judge named Alex McCard. Later, Batman broke into McCard's house and asked him what he knew about the killings since he sentenced almost all the victims. McCard revealed they were let out after Batman and Gordon put him and Judge Ward in a difficult situation for doing deals with the 3 families. All his cases were overturned. He thought Batman was trying to make things right by killing the victims for getting them released. Before leaving, Batman gave McCard some beating until he went unconscious. Before the GCPD ousted Gordon, Batman uncovered evidence that Gotham's 3 families had 5 judges on their payroll. The evidence overturned dozens of judges' cases. However, the judges never went to prison because Gordon was working with Batman. Gordon's career ended and was run out of Gotham while the 5 judges walked, as well as over half of their convictions. All of that was because of Batman. Wong's files showed Bruce what he didn't want to see. He found out that the imposter is cleaning up a mess he helped make. As Bruce is leaving, Leslie wonders what he will do, and he says he got everything he needs from Wesker's surveillance network, so it's enough for him to find the imposter. Currently, the imposter has claimed 12th victim in 60 days. Back when Batman infiltrated Wesker's company, Wong was summoned and informed about that. Wesker wanted to know what she will do about it, and she asked him to give her access to his surveillance network. He first hesitated, but still decided to do it her way. As the 12th victim was found stabbed in the apartment hallway, Wong turns on the surveillance network to find Batman on where he was going after. Bruce discovers that the imposter was using the network of tunnels under the city to get around just like he does. The only way to access that branch of tunnels is from the abandoned 58th Street train station. On the 58th Street, Bruce found the imposter was talking to his ally and realizes it was Otis. In Wong's point of view, she also found Otis after tracking the imposter. Then both Batman and her leave to capture him. Later, Wong and Hatcher arrive to arrest Otis before Batman. She instructs Hatcher to keep his eyes open in case Batman shows up. But suddenly, a smoke bomb flies toward their car and explodes, causing Hatcher to be unconscious and others too get injured. As Wong walks away from the car, she is aware of Batman's presence approaching Otis and threatens him not to move. No choice, Batman makes a move and scatters her away with his kick. He tells her not to get up and kidnaps Otis with him. Later, he tortures Otis and asks who the imposter is. Since Otis has no idea there are 2 Batmen, he doesn't understand what Batman is talking about. Meanwhile, at the GCPD evidence room, Wong is prepared to go to war with Batman, and Hatcher also joins with her. Otis is now found by GCPD and is interrogating about Batman. He tells them he doesn't know who Batman is, and furiously wonders why Batman hurt him, as he thought they were friends. Hatcher asks Otis what did Batman want with him, and what did he do for him. He says he helped Batman because he could see what he was trying to do. As Hatcher wonders what Batman was trying to do, Otis replies that Batman just wanted to kill the bad men in Gotham. He was helping him and gave him some names of people who deserved it. About what Batman said to him, it was like he didn't know who he was. While Hatcher isn't careful, Otis gets a chance to steal the gun and kills himself. Bruce tells Leslie he had received one useful information from Otis. Otis said something about Batman having a hideout in the sewers, and it was behind a waterfall. There are 11 vertical drops in the sewer system, and knowing that one of them will lead him to the imposter, Bruce arranges to go down there now. Leslie reminds him he has made a big problem with the GCPD tonight, and it's going to lead to a big issue. Bruce replies he had to hurt Wong to get to Otis. It's the worst thing he has ever done. Later, Batman comes to the sewer Otis mentioned and finds the waterfall. As he drops himself down, he feels the hollow behind the waterfall and jumps right into it. It is a hideout, just like Otis said. Batman then unlocks a box there and finds a shotgun with a squid symbol and bat costume. Suddenly, the imposter shows up to confront Batman. The fight favors the imposter who got the upper hand on Batman and spears him through the waterfall into the water. As they get right back on the ground, Batman is surprised at the imposter's skills. He is fast, built like a tank, and hits harder. After, the imposter kicks him off from the top to the main route of the sewer, and then the flashlight shines on him. The police have caught up and demand Batman to show his hands while the imposter on the other side manages to get away. Batman couldn't believe they are here so soon. As the police are distracted, he detonates a flashbang and escapes through a manhole. Back onto the street, he robs a man's car to proceed with the escape, but crashes because of the dizziness from the injury. Wong is now on her way to capture him. Knowing that he has Zipline's network across the city, she realizes she is not going to catch him using a vehicle and calls for a helicopter. While using zip lines to get away, Batman encounters the helicopter and quickly finds cover. As he jumps to another building, he finds himself at a dead end because his zip line was cut and gets shot from behind. It was from Wong. Afterward, Batman decides to take off his mask and reveals he is Bruce. He tells Wong that Batman doesn't kill people, and there is someone pretending to be him doing the killing. He asks her to let him go, or she needs to put him down to stop him. No choice. She allows him to walk away freely. He then takes off his costume and burns it down in the trash can and rests a night in the trash pile. At dawn, he comes to say goodbye to Leslie and is sure she knows he is right. He tells her Batman does make a difference. She asks him what about Bruce, who is powerful, rich, a force of nature, and wonders why can't he also make a difference. She says Batman is an affliction on Bruce. She knows she can't stop him, but she hopes he hears her when she says, she thinks if Bruce was given half of the energy Batman takes and used his considerable resources for good, he he would see he could also make a difference. She believes he could fix Gotham if he lets himself do it. Bruce reveals his whole life people have been asking him why he doesn't do more. Speaking of his money, since his parents set up rules, he can't inherit too much at once. He is only allowed to donate $1 million annually until he is 30. If he had those $1 billion, he would have given it all away already. Leslie tells him he is more than his parents' death and also more than their money. He says he can end this now. The gun he found at the imposter's hideout has history. A man named Mullet-Man, who is the son of a Chinese real estate magnate, wanted to be a kingpin. He came to Gotham looking to take over. Mullet-Man misunderstood Gotham's special relationship with symbols, called himself the Squid, and branded everything with his logo. But he didn't know all he was doing was putting a great target on his back. The night Gordon and Batman put him away, he was receiving a shipment of 450 custom pistols at the docks, each and every one accounted for from the shipping manifest. Each one safely locked away in the GCPD evidence room. Since the imposter is trained, has access to the lockup, a motive for the victim lineup, and causes to blame it all on Batman, Bruce assumes he is a cop. Later, Batman breaks into Wong's house and informs her that the imposter is a cop. He needs to know who took Mullet-Man's gun from the GCPD evidence room, so he asks Wong to help get him GCPD login records, security footage, and fingerprints to find out who it is. However, Wong doesn't agree to help him. He tells her whatever she thinks about him doesn't matter, as he is not a killer, but the imposter is. He takes off his mask and reveals he always thought Bruce Wayne died with his parents. Rage was all he felt for years, but when he met her, everything changed. They both do what they do for the same reasons. He knows some parts of her understand and convinces her to help him stop the imposter. Before he leaves, he says he won't fight what is coming if she believes Gotham is better off without him. During that night, Wong comes to GCPD evidence room to check for fingerprints on Mullet-Man's weapon box and found one. However, she still determines to arrest Batman and arranges a plan with Hatcher to catch him tonight. She tells Hatcher she can bait Batman out to meet her and allows Hatcher to take the shot. Later, she meets Batman at one of Wayne buildings that was blown up by a maniac named Joe Rigger. Batman wasn't sure that she would call him. He asks if she found anything, and she reveals she found some prints and has already stored them in a safe place. He wonders what they are doing here then, and suddenly Wong gets shot on her left shoulder. She slips off the edge but is able to hold on to the steel. Batman tries to grab her back up too, but he also gets shot from behind, and they both fall onto another floor. As the imposter approaches, Batman detonates a flashbang to gain the upper hand on him, but isn't able to land even a single punch. He then gets a headbutt from the imposter and gets pushed into a pole, cracking his skull. The imposter lets Batman know that the judges, all the convictions overturned, hundreds of rapists and murderers, he was the one who let them out. Batman asks the imposter what does he call what he is doing, and the imposter replies it's called cleaning up his mess and leaving him the blame. While the imposter is distracted, Wong shoots him 3 shots from behind. He then walks toward her and kicks the gun out of her hand. As he is about to kill her, Batman throws the batarang and hits his right eye. Actually, the imposter is Hatcher. He attempts to jump off the edge, but Batman caught him and tells him he is going to die in jail, not like this. However, Hatcher has no desire to continue living and stabs Batman's hand with the batarang and falls to his death. Bruce is now under arrest. He asks Wong does she think Gotham will be better off without him. She doesn't say anything and looks at him. Still, she can't bring herself to arrest him and lets him go once again. Later, Arnold is approached by Batman and wonders if he is here to kill his father. After, Arnold arrives at Leslie's house and gives her a paper he received from Batman, which has the bat sign. He tells Leslie that Batman said she could help him. Then, she welcomes him in and lets him talk about what is troubling him. In the end, Bruce comes to visit his parents, Wong's parents, and Otis's graves and also leaves them flowers as a tribute. This is it for this comic. Thank you for watching.